America's future being tested in Singapore with the approval of 16 insects for human consumption. Historic reference to eating bugs are for survival, not as a delicacy. From Discern Report on WND, it's not uncommon for insect parts to accidentally make it into processed foods in plant production. However, Singapore has gone one step further and approved the packaging and sale of 16 species of insects as foodstuffs. Actress Nicole Kidman demonstrated her secret talent eating fried insects and live worms. In 2017, Business Insider reported that on average one person accidentally eats 140,000 bits of bug every year. Food with the highest number of allowed bug bits is hops used to brew beer. The FDA allows up to 25,000 bits for every 100 grams of hops. Exactly who is counting 25,000 bits of bug for every 2.5 cups of hops? Interestingly, in 2017, the Business Insider article ended with, "We'd better get used to it. After all, insects are the food of the future." Also in 2017, a Business Insider article sponsored by Cargill predicted that thanks to climate change, the food of the future will include bugs, beans, GMOs, invasive sea creatures, and bloody vegan burgers. Insect as food promoters claim humans have a long history of eating insects, and if you think eating insects is gross, you may be in cultural minority. Yet historical mentions of eating insects are mostly for survival, not as a delicacy. National Geographic notes, 10,000 years ago, hunters and gatherers ate bugs to survive. The Smithsonian notes that in Africa, where poverty is extreme, locusts are consistently eaten, and military survival guides recommend insects as a perfect alternative when other food sources are not available. As globalists push for greater control over the food supply, they're also pushing to normalize dehumanizing gross food options. Now, Singapore approves of 16 insect species to be sold as food. In October 2022, Yahoo News reported the Singapore Food Agency, SFA, was in the process of considering approval of insects imported from 10 insect food products or farming companies for human or animal consumption. The media release went on to say that the SFA conducted scientific reviews and assessed the species of insects it would allow for use in the country. And it listed some of the insects that had traditionally been served in parts of Asia, such as crickets and silkworm pupae. And after the Food and Drug Organization, FAO, promoted insects for animal feed and human consumption, commercial interest grew. From October 5th, 2022 to December 4th, 2022, when SFA was open to public commentary, it received only a mere 53 responses in a country with 5.9 million people. Straits Times reported recently that 16 species of insects received the green light from SFA and would be released for human consumption in the last half of this year. The companies importing the insects must provide proof that the insects are farmed under food safety controls and that the substrate used to feed the insects is not contaminated. Also, the insect products will also be subjected to food testing and treatment to kill pathogens. Food inspections will also be done to determine the insects were packed and stored to prevent contamination. And the 16 species of insects provided approved for consumption could be either eaten directly or used to make snack items. In addition to the insects, SFA will allow silkworm cocoons with the explanation that they are currently consumed in Malaysia and China. Insect species without a history of human consumption, no matter how recent the history, will be considered novel, and approval must go then through a different framework, they said. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.